and we are looking at raw edge applique. I am so excited about today's project, my friends. Go ahead, grab your cup of coffee, grab your tea, sit down. We are in for a wonderful tutorial today. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to Where Wendy Creates. Today we are working on our Halloween, and I thought we can go ahead and put together maybe 3 of these today. I have some ghost type gray fabric, maybe some oval eyes that I'll put up here, an open mouth, and then I was thinking for a boot, because all Halloween things needs boots, right? A witch's boot. So I drew really poorly over and over again until I came up with the size of a boot. And then I was thinking for the boot buckle, maybe some purple and some gold for a gold buckle. So I thought we would frou-frou that up today. And let's set that aside. We are also going to look at a hat. And I thought maybe just like the boot, we could use the purple and the gold on a hat. And for the hat, I drew it over and over and over until I was happy. And then I have a nice brim that I have cut out. Now you can do your hat any way you want, however you think a witch's hat should look. And I'm not sure if I want the brim up or the brim down. So we're playing around with that as well. And I'm thinking I like the flatter side down for the head and the rounded side up for the top. And then I was thinking the purple rim with a buckle. So my friends, let's go ahead and get started. And looking at the hat, I think I want the orange beautiful in it and the purple. Now the purple doesn't have backing on it yet, so we're probably going to take about a 2.5-inch strip and put some double-sided fusible on that so we can use that on the hat and the boot, and then somehow cut out the buckle. Likewise, the boot that we have cut out. And we're making sure we have approximately 2 inches on all sides of this. And then on our ghosts, we want to cut out another eyeball for the little guy because I think I liked these eyes better than I liked the eyes. Ooh, do I want them going up or going down? And then, of course, the mouth. So let's go ahead and take the backing off the paper. We'll cut out another eye as well for my ghost. See if I'm missing one. I don't think I am. And we just have some scrap that we cut out from around the boot. And we're going to take the eye. I usually do these both at the same time so I get the same size. But we're just going to put that one on top of it, kind of hold it with our finger, and trim it out. You, of course, can trace it and then trim it, whatever you're comfortable with. We're going to throw the excess back over into the pile of goodies yet to use. Round up this other part of the eye. And then we have our 2 eyes on the ghost. Might trim him down just a tad. Not sure, but I thought a couple of ghosts on this page would be good. I'm thinking about rolling the bottom of this. I kind of like the fringe, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with that yet. So we're going to play with it a little bit and find out. But when we go to the ironing board, we'll make our purple with the double back sided fusible. And for now, we're going to go ahead and take the paper off of all of these. And then we're going to go around these. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the zigzag stitch or a satin stitch. A lot of people like just the plain satin stitch. I kind of like to mix it up with some of the fancier stitches once in a while, or even a zigzag stitch. I think the zigzag stitch gives me more of a rough edge look. And of course, ghosts are probably smooth, so maybe the satin edge stitch is perfect for that. Or of course, you can use a blanket stitch, whatever you're comfortable with. But again, instead of being comfortable with it, I want it to be something that you think looks the best. And we're just taking the paper backing off of our eyes, our ghosts, our mouth. Been debating whether to give him a mouth or not. I think we're going to, but I keep going back and forth on that. I'm not sure. Not sure. And I might have played with this guy a little bit too much. I need the plastic to stay on. There we go. I think that did it. Nope, that did not. So we'll cut out another mouth. If you play with the small pieces too much, they're more likely to bend and the plastic not want to stay on the piece. So you got to handle them with kids' gloves and see that that's the glue. So we like that there. And when I say glue, it has to be heated by the iron to make it glue. So it's not really glue until it's heated. It's the double fusible that we use on these. So it looks like since I have to cut out one mouth, I'm going to cut out two, and then we're going to see what if I want to put a mouth on both. So we're grabbing our scrap again, and I'm just going to cut off a piece here, and then I'm going to fold this in half where the fusible is, and I'm going to cut a circle out of the center of that for my mouth. And what do we think for the mouths on those? Yes, I think I'll give them both a mouth. What do you think? Okay, so let's go ahead and cut out the mouth. And I think we got to take the sticky back off of the big guy. And then we are ready to set him aside. We'll take the paper off of the boot and the hat. And then we'll go over to the ironing board. And these bigger sheets that I take off the back of the double-sided fusible, they're great for putting underneath my stitching. It gives it a little extra strength, then you can tear it off afterwards. But having it on there when you stitch allows you to not pull and torque the fabric as much or have it gather for you. So then we just got to figure out his eyes, and we can readjust that until we get to the ironing board and actually press him. Okay, so let's set him aside, and we're going to look at our hats. And with our hat, or excuse me, our boot, we want to take the paper off of it. Notice how I'm leaving the gummy part on. The plastic coated part for the glue on. Just taking off the paper. That looks great. Oh, I'm so excited about the purple. I think the purple, doing a belt buckle over here, maybe even a stripe up here, maybe bending this down or putting purple on the top, going up and out, like some of the designer shoes of today. I'm not sure. Maybe some little stars down to here off of the purple. Not sure, but we can really play with that and jazz that up. So let's go ahead and take the paper off of the hat. And we have two parts. And you can see by all the tracing on the back how I roughed it out and decided how I wanted my hat to look. All right, so let's take ourselves over to the ironing board. Okay, so we have our purple fabric and our double-sided adhesive. We're going to go ahead and plug in our iron. And we're going to heat it up to the cotton setting. I'm going to turn the steam off. And we will iron our fusible to our fabric. And the fabric was cut very unevenly on the edge. Some quilt stores do that, unfortunately. So we're just going to lock that down. Turn off my steam. I turned it back on to do the fabric. And we're going to trim off our fusible so we don't get that on our iron. And then we'll iron down the rest of this purple piece so it's ready to use on our project. And our first piece is our hat. And again, we kind of wanted originally 2 inches on all sides. Not going to quite get that on the sides here or the top. And I'm wondering if I mind that so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and iron this one down. And now I can turn on my steam because it is going to be a permanent melding. I'm permanently affixing it onto the other fabric. I'm thinking about even using some purple thread maybe to match the belt that I put around it, to go all the way around the hat, just to make it pop, because right now it's black on black, and I need a little frou-frou to make that one pop. And laying out our boot. I've got little threads here. They're going to brush off. They're not permanent. Okay. And I kind of like my placement there, maybe a little bit here. Okay, so once I heat this up, it is permanently affixed. And let's do our ghosts. This guy is so big, he's really taken up some area. Do I want him sideways or straight up? This guy, how close do I want him? And again, once I heat this, those pieces are going to be permanently affixed and I won't be able to move them. All right, I think I'm okay with that. And straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. And then we can go ahead and press him solid to make sure he's down. You just don't want to rub the iron at first because you want the pieces to stay exactly where you want them to stay. And just keep playing around with your paper and your colors until you come up with a boot style that you like. Now this one I really like, but I'm coming too close to the top. So I've got to somehow shrink that one and keep that, that style going. So we're taking a look at different ideas, maybe a little star at the bottom, maybe a little ball at the end, maybe some yellow stars. Not sure if we want to thread paint or do it all with the fabric, but this is how I'm looking at it so far. And now we're playing around with the hat, deciding how to frou-frou or decorate it up. We've got just a purple strip cut out. And what I was thinking is there's some of this without the glue. So maybe what I'll sew is around this part here. And then I'll just take the scissors and we'll make that raggedy look on the bottom like it is a worn and torn and used hat. I think that might be pretty cool because I like the raw edge look, and I don't know, I'm just feeling it. What do you think? Hit that comment button below. Let me know your thoughts on whether you want it pristine and pretty or you like that rough edge look too. Let me know. And now for buckles. I need a buckle on the hat, a buckle on the shoes, and trying to figure out how we're going to do that one. So I think what I'm going to do is just take this and lay it on top of this, somewhere near the middle, making sure I have sticky on both sides, just to waste as little of the fabric as possible. And I'm going to cut this off up like so, and then we'll cut it over. Now on this piece, I do think I'm going to trim off the excess fuzz, because this is more like maybe a metal button or a stronger button. So we're cutting that off. And then we want to cut out the middle of the square so it goes over this a little bit. Tut-tut-tut-tut-tut. How to. So I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and fold this semi in half, kind of, sort of, and do a little piece of cutting on both sides. We're going to take out the center square. I'm sure we can use the center square on some other something. And then I have created a buckle. And then we put the hat brim back on it as so. And we can put the buckle on it. What do you think? I kind of like that. Okay, so them are my thoughts on the hat. Not sure if I want to do something else. Maybe we'll go ahead and sew it with a purple thread, maybe even the yellow, but I'm thinking the purple, and see if we need to add anything else to it. So let's go ahead and take the paper backing off of this. We'll go over to the ironing board and press them on. All right, so we are back at the sewing machine, and we're going to sew down our buckles and our belts on our shoe and our hat. And first of all, I've got to make sure the star is right. I messed up cutting him out, so as you can see, it's 2 pieces, but it's not going to slow me down. We're going to go ahead and use those 2 pieces, putting the one down first, the other one just got to line it up to where it looks like it belongs. And we're going to iron that down. I think these other pieces, whoops, let's scooch that over. It's got to cover the full boot. Now this is important to go straight down and straight up with the iron, because, oops, I got to turn them on. Because if we do not, then unfortunately it could move this and we could show boot behind the buckle or the strap, and we definitely don't want to do that. So we want to be very, very careful on the placement to make sure that there is no black showing behind the buckle. It's all purple in the center, and then on the sides we look good. Okay, so since I didn't turn on the iron, we're letting it get hot for just a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and press. We're using the steam because it's going to be permanently affixed. And once I have it steamed, then I can roll it on it a little bit, and then we're going to come over to the boot. And let's go ahead and do the star, and we can just count to 6 real quick, lift it up. Let's do the belt and the buckle, and then we want to take a look at the top, make sure that the top looks good, nothing is showing on all sides, and we can do the same for there. And now once I've held it down for about 6 seconds on each piece, then I want to go back over it, just make sure I'm fully affixed everywhere and it's locked down, ready to stitch. All right, I'm so excited. Let's go on back to the sewing machine and get the next step started. Okay, so now we're playing with thread choices, and I really love all 3 of these. I think I'm going to nix this one. It just looks too bright. And honestly, this one looks too bright, but I think when you look at it, when it's not quite under the sun, it doesn't gleam as much, or under the lights. So either one of these would probably be perfect on that. We're going to take this one off the table. And then for my black, we have black thread. I have some black bobbins for the bottom. And then I've got this beautiful purple. I think I've got 2 different shades of purple in my bobbins and in the top, and that can be for my purple belt buckle, if we can pull that forward so we can see the belt buckle. And I was thinking for the, not the belt buckle, but the belt. And then for the belt buckle, I have this shiny gold. And hint, hint, if you're going to have bobbins wound for a long time, you're going to throw them in a bag or something, a little piece of Scotch tape works if you don't have the mesh that goes around them. Tips and tricks. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the hat, and I'm going to turn it over on its back. I'm taking just freezer paper, and I'm going to use freezer paper as my stabilizer on the back. Some people iron this onto the back. I just hold it there and use it. So we're going to put this shiny side towards it. Clearly, I tore off much more than I needed. So we can put it down in the corner because we don't need to have that much in use. And we're going to go ahead and begin our stitching. And like I said, I'm really leaning towards using purple all the way around the hat just to make it pop. So let's start on the belt and then see where we go. So I'm going to start right here, pull this way, this way, this way, stop. Start again here, 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 here. Oops, I said I was going to fray it. So what do you think? Hit the comments below. Would you fray it or would you not fray it? I think I'm going to fray it. I like that look. I think I'm going to fray it. Okay, so I'm going to sew a little bit above that and over. And above that and on the lines on the sides and on the top. Okay, so let's see how we go. And we're going to start it. Let's get our needle threaded and we will begin stitching. And we're going to go ahead and sew around the purple. And I've got myself on a zigzag stitch, not a satin stitch, just a zigzag stitch. And we're going to go ahead and around the purple, we're going to go up from the bottom so I can fray it a bit. I think we're going to make that length a little bit tighter. And I didn't want the zigzag, didn't want the satin stitch on this because I think the jagged fray on the bottom is going to look better with a frayed stitch up above. Now for the rest of the purple, we're going to go right on the lines. So you can trim your threads so they don't get in your way. Pop our needle down, twist this around and under. And we're going to trim the threads on the bottom, trim the thread on the top, and now I think we're going to do a wider stitch. We're going to change our width up to a 4, and we're going to go ahead and go around the brim of our hat. And I'm still going to stick with the purple color because I want it to pop a little. And right when we get to the point, we can tone down our width of our stitch just to make a crisp point, and then widen it as we go back out of the hat. twine going right up in the middle of the foot so the stitches are on both sides. Now we get close to our point, we can lower down our width. I'm on a 4. I'm moving to a 3. I'm moving to a 2 3/4. And a 2 1/2. And a 2. I'm dropping down to a 1 1/2 out to my point. And when we turn it, we want our needle down, foot up, turn, pivot, and then start widening it just the same as we did. Okay, and then we can go ahead and raise. We can cut our thread or just bring it right back up to the start of our top of our hat and go all the way around the hat as well. I'm going into the curl of the hat, so I'm going to go slower. I'm going to wind it down to a tighter width. And I'm going to do about 3 stitches, needle down, and I'm going to help turn the page a little bit. Really torquing that and twisting with my hands to make that turn happen. And every time I pick up the foot or turn it, I want to make sure my needle is down. And then when I get to the point, I'm going to wire it down in width. I want my needle on that side, pick it up, twist it around, widen our stitch, and keep going. Now on the Singer Heavy Duty, you don't have a rabbit gear or a turtle gear. Doing this raw edge applique is where I would recommend, if you can, go down to a turtle mode. That way, no matter how fast you push that foot pedal, it's going to go slow. So we're going to keep on going around here. Trying to keep the edge of this right in between the two points of the foot. We have purple in the bottom bobbin as well as purple in the top thread, and I just thought the purple would make it look a little bit happier, a little bit perkier, make it pop a little bit. So let's pull that out and take a closer look at it. Okay, so we're looking at our hat. And I'm thinking we might need some stars or some perkiness out here within the hat to make it a little bit sharper look. But we're going to think about that a little bit. Hit the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, and then we can come back and do this. Add some little something if you know what might look good. I don't know, some twine going different ways. What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts. I am eager to hear them. Hit that comment button. Give it to me below. Now, we still have to go around this with a thread, but I think we're going to set it aside. We've got the purple thread in the machine. Let's go ahead. We've got the boot ready to sew. Let's sew the boot. All right, and we're getting out our sheet of freezer paper. See how long we need to make this one. And that is more than 20 long there. Right out to the edge, and we're going to roll it back in and trim it here. we're going to go around the full boot with the purple thread. So how long have you been sewing? Hit in the comments button below. Let me know what kind of projects you sew, when you started sewing. What you would like me to demo, what you've always wanted to do that you haven't gotten up the courage or the information, the knowledge yet to do. And Sylvia and I will see if we know how to do it and can give you a tutorial if we do. See how I'm pulling the fabric to turn around the boot tip. And now I'm going to dial down the width to come out to the point on my boot. Take a look. Flip it around and come back to the other side of the boot. Widen my width. Always working with the paper. The freezer paper or some kind of stiffener is a blessing because it helps the fabric from distorting. And the stitch is pulling it tighter. These boots are pretty cool with the purple at the top as well. I would wear them. Would you wear them? I think you would wear them. You know, I've put on pointy shoes before. Hit in the comments if you worn pointy shoes before and your toes just kind of stop in the front and the point keeps on going. It's kind of weird to have air up there, but it really doesn't matter. So I found that kind of neat. What do you think? When you need to, just kind of roll your paper and your fabric up under the neck of the machine. And if I want it to be thick, I can go in reverse all the way back. If I don't, I can increase the length of my stitch. And that way I only have half as many stitches on the way back, and then change back the length of your stitch and continue on the project. All right, looks like I snagged it up right at the end. See what I did there. And trim my threads, trim my back thread. And what do you think of my boot? I'm kind of loving it. And we're just sewing around our star. Uh-oh, lost my foot. That's so funny. Okay, and I'm just pulling the lever, popping my foot back into place. All right, foot's in place. And our star is sewn around. So now we've sewn around everything. We just have to sew around our buckle still. So let's do our buckle. Okay, now we're going to go around our buckle. Love this gold thread. And I'm going to go around the buckle twice because I love that sparkle of the gold thread. So that's the only reason, is for effect, for drama, just because it's pretty when I do it. Go ahead and trim our threads. And look at this. Look at that buckle. I love that little shimmer and shine there. Okay, now we're going to take off. We're done. Unless we want to put some more frou-frou on there, we're done with our basic sewing. So I can leave the paper on if we might want to add some frillies in there. Or we can go ahead and rip off the paper because paper has already served its purpose. We'll just rip off the paper. It's funny, my thread didn't trim. Rip off the paper, and then we're ready to add it to the rest of the quilt. Okay, my friends, so now we've gone around the buckle on the boot, and we've gone around the buckle on the witch's hat. We have yet to do our ghosts, so I'm tempted to say, y'all, hit that subscribe button down below, and we're going to have the ghost tutorial in a quick upcoming video so that you can get on with your creative style and your happy place right now, my friends. But hit that subscribe button. I want you back here, and we're going to do the ghosts real soon, and then we're going to put them all into a quilt. So exciting. Have a great day.